Hello and welcome back. Welcome back to another 25 minutes. This is our last 25 minutes. So, estos 25 minutos tienen que cundir a tope. You and me, together, we have to make magic in the next 25 minutes. Hacer magia entre los dos, una simbiosis muy especial vamos a lograr, o al menos intentar. We're going to try to make magic, and we're going to achieve it. We are going to accomplish the unbelievable, the incredible. Your English is going to improve exponentially with this program and with Aprende Inglés TV. So, as I've told you on previous days, the magic. Do you believe in magic? ¿Crees en la magia? Does magic exist? Fijaos cómo uso el verbo auxiliar does. Repito, does magic exist? In my opinion, it does. I can give you part of the magic, maybe 25%. And if you give the other 75%, presto, you and me, we make magic together. And the magic consists in your English progressing at incredible speeds, absolute velocity, faster than the bullet train from Madrid to Sevilla. And your English will improve if you help me make magic, and together we will make magic. All right. I have a friend, a good friend. His name is Ronnie. Ronaldo. Ronnie. But he's not a football player. No. He's not a soccer player. He's not Brazilian. He's English. His real name is Ronald. Ronald, like Ronald McDonald in the McDonald's. But people call him Ronnie. He's a rich boy. He is from a rich family. He is an only child. Un hijo único. He's an only child, which means he doesn't have any sisters and he doesn't have any brothers. Para decir que no tiene hermanos, diría mejor, he doesn't have any sisters or brothers. He grew up on a country estate about 35 miles north or 40 miles north of London along the M1 motorway. Yes. And his father is rich. His mother is rich. So Ronnie grew up rich. Poor boy. He suffered a lot, I imagine. We say in English he was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. A spoon es una cuchara. A silver spoon es una cuchara de plata. Y nacer con una cuchara de plata en la boca es nacer rico. He was born with a silver spoon in his mouth, and he was pampered and spoiled as he was growing up, quite typical of some rich children, not all. There are some admirable exceptions among the rich people in this country and in other countries in which the children are brought up, criados, are raised, are brought up. Dos formas de decir criar. To raise, criar niños, or to bring up. To bring up, I brought up my children in Spain. I was brought up, voz pasiva. Aquí acabo de usar la voz activa y voy a repetir todo. Con la voz activa y luego la voz pasiva. Escuchad sobre la crianza de hijos. I brought up my children in Spain. I was brought up in the States. I was brought up by my parents. Now my wife is Spanish. She was brought up in Madrid, but she wasn't brought up by her parents. She was brought up by her grandparents. Okay. Now my children were brought up by me and my wife. We brought them up in two different styles, Spanish and American style, and it works, okay? But Ronnie was brought up by the servants, really, because Ronnie's parents were rich. In fact, Ronnie's parents are rich. Yes. And they live on a country estate, una finca enorme. In England, that's very expensive. And they live on a country estate, con E delante. Se escribe estate. Es una finca, o como dicen in Mexico, una hacienda, okay? Ronnie grew up on an estate, and really, his mother didn't have time for him. So he spent time with the maid, la criada, la asistenta, the maid, and other people in the house. But now Ronnie lives in Monte Carlo. He lives in Monaco. Yeah, Monaco. The capital of Monaco is Monte Carlo. It's a country. It's not really a country. Monaco is a principality, okay? And it's a monarchy. Well, not exactly. It's the princes. Prince of Monaco. Raniro was the father, and the son, I can't remember his name. But nevertheless, Ronnie lives there. And he works in his own business. He has a business. And his business is not going very well. He owns a yacht, one yacht. And he rents the yacht to people who want to sail around the Côte d'Azur, the Blue Coast, the Riviera, the French Riviera, which consists of Cannes, Nice, Monte Carlo, and if you continue to Italy, Sanremo, which that's the beginning of the Italian Riviera. And so Ronnie lives there, and during the summer he rents his yacht and makes some money. But during the winter he doesn't rent his yacht to anybody, so he doesn't make any money. And he ends up asking, gerundio, he ends up asking his father for money. And his father always gives him money because Ronnie is a spoiled boy. Un niño estropeado, mimado, consentido. You have many ways in Spanish, and we have many ways in English. Spoiled, pampered, brought up improperly, okay? But basically spoiled, okay? All right. So, and Ronnie's fat. He's not slim, he's fat. And do you know why he's fat? He's fat because he eats too much. It's very simple. He eats too much and he doesn't get enough exercise. So, a base de esta pregunta, a base de esta afirmación, we can make two interesting grammatical conclusions. Well, Ronnie is too fat. Ronnie is fat because he eats too much. Well, conclusion number one, he shouldn't eat so much. He shouldn't. No debería comer tanto. Debería comer menos. He should eat less. Si comiera menos, no estaría tan gordo. If he ate less, he wouldn't be so fat. If he ate less, he wouldn't be so fat. So really, I know why Ronnie is fat. He's fat because he eats too much. Yeah. If he didn't eat so much, if he didn't, uso lo que es la forma del pasado, pero es subjuntivo aquí, si no comiese tanto. If he didn't eat so much, he wouldn't be so fat. So my recommendation to my good friend Ronnie, every time I visit him in Monte Carlo, I say, Ronnie, come on, take better care of yourself. You're getting too fat. Come on. Your father is slim. Your mother is slim, and you're fat. Come on, Ronnie. You shouldn't eat so much. You shouldn't eat so much. No deberías comer tanto. And so Ronnie admits, yeah, Richard, you're right. I shouldn't eat so much. But I love the food in France, especially in southern France. And so he eats too much. If he didn't eat so much, he wouldn't be so fat. If he didn't eat so much, he wouldn't be so fat. Yeah, and Ronnie has problems too. Ronnie has other problems. Ronnie, in my opinion, es un caso perdido, la verdad. A ver si cambia el chico. But he has problems. He has problems with his business because he doesn't speak English he doesn't speak French very well. That's the problem. Because Ronnie lives in Monte Carlo, and the language the people normally speak in Monte Carlo is French. And you know, Ronnie has been living in Monte Carlo for 2 years, and his French is still practically non-existent. He knows enough French to get by. He knows enough French to buy cigarettes, as he smokes. He knows enough French to order whiskey or gin or a Cuba Libre at the disco. He knows enough French to put gasoline in his Jaguar, his car, his fast car. But he doesn't know enough French to do business well. After 2 years, can you believe it? If he spoke French better, he could probably do more business if he spoke French better. But he doesn't. In my opinion, he should learn French. He should make the effort. He should study French seriously. He should take the time to devote his energies and his attention to the French language, and then he would speak French better. But he doesn't do that. He's lazy. Es un vago, en mi opinión. No se lo digas, pero lo es, en mi opinión. If you knew, si conocieras a Ronnie, estarías de la misma opinión, ¿sabes? If you knew Ronnie, you would be of the same opinion. If you knew Ronnie, you would agree with me. I know him. I've known him for at least 10 years. And he doesn't know French well. After 2 years living in Monte Carlo, can you believe it? But if he knew French better, he would be able to do business better, because the business in Monte Carlo is usually conducted in French. Se realiza en francés. O los negocios se realizan. They are conducted. Business is conducted. Se dice mucho to conduct cuando es business. Business is conducted in French. And Ronnie needs to do business with people. Of course, he knows English perfectly, but his French is very little, which is surprising for me. He should make the effort. He should learn the language. If he knew French better, he would be able to do better business. But Ronnie has another problem. He has a chronic cough. He's always coughing. Coughing. Coffee no, pero suena casi igual. To cough es toser. To cough es como si quitáramos la doble E al final de café. Coffee, cough. Okay, cada vez que bebo café, toso. Every time I drink coffee, I cough. Yeah. Every time I drink coffee, I cough. Okay? And now, Ronnie coughs a lot. And he coughs a lot because he smokes too much. If he didn't smoke so much, he wouldn't cough so much. All right? If he didn't smoke so much, he wouldn't cough so much. So, what is your recommendation to our good friend Ronnie? Ronnie, you shouldn't smoke so much. You should try to cut down on your smoking. You should try to smoke less. You should try to cut down on. Dos preposiciones, toma. To cut down on es ir reduciendo el número de cigarros fumados por día. You should try to cut down on the number of cigarettes you smoke every day. Because if you keep smoking a pack and a half a day, Ronnie smokes. He doesn't smoke 2 packs a day, no. Only if he goes to a party in the evening, he ends up smoking 2 packs or more. Fijaos, yo uso el inglés americano aquí. Digo 2 packs. Ese es un paquete de tabaco. Los británicos dicen packets, okay? Me da igual. Both are perfect. He smokes 2 packs a day, only if he goes to a party in the evening. But even on a normal working day, when he's not going to parties in the evening or to the disco, he still smokes paquete y medio, a pack and a half. A pack and a half, a day and a half, día y medio, mes y medio, a month and a half, semana y media, a week and a half, siglo y medio, a century and a half, mesa y medio, si quisiéramos dividir así, a table and a half. Nunca uso el número, uso el artículo indeterminado a o an. A week and a half, a day and a half, an hour and a half, hora y media. Nunca se dice 1 hour and a half or 1.5 hours. No se dice. An hour and a half, a day and a half. Y paquete y medio de tabaco, a pack or a packet and a half. And Ronnie smokes a pack and a half a day. Do you know that? So in 2 days, he smokes 3 packs. In 4 days, he smokes 6 packs. In 8 days, he smokes 12 packs. So in 1 week, he smokes about 11 packs. More than 10 packs a week. That's a lot of cigarettes. That's a lot of money. He shouldn't smoke so much, in my opinion. He shouldn't smoke so much. He should try to cut down. He should try to cut down on. Repito la preposición doble aquí. He should try to cut down on the number of cigarettes he smokes every day. In fact, if you want to know my opinion, he should quit altogether. He should give up the habit. He should find a way to kick the habit. Se dice en inglés muchas veces dar una patada al vicio, o al hábito, en este caso. He should try to kick the habit, to give up completely, to quit. But he can't, because Ronnie is simply not strong enough. If he were strong enough, no se dice if he was, eso si él era, pero yo estoy diciendo si él fuera, o estuviera. If he were strong enough, he would quit. Pavo frío, cold turkey. He would quit. I'm changing back. He would quit. Cold turkey es una expresión americana para dejarlo, abandonarlo de un día, de la noche a la mañana, to quit. Tomorrow I will quit smoking. And this cigarette I'm smoking now is the last cigarette I'm going to smoke in the rest of my life. Goodbye, bad habit. Adios, vicio mío. And he should quit. In my opinion, he should quit. If he quit smoking, if he gave up smoking, siempre gerundio, incluso si voy con stop, si parara de fumar, si dejase de fumar. If he stopped smoking, pero fijaos, digo stopped smoking. Si dijera he stopped to smoke, es pararse para fumarse un pitillo. All right, no. Gerundio después de stop siempre. Deja de hablar, stop speaking. Deja de mirarme, stop looking at me. Deja de sentarte delante de mí, stop sitting in front of me. Deja de ver este canal, stop watching this channel. O sea, then our friend Ronnie, if he stopped smoking, if he could quit, si pudiera, if he could quit smoking, I'm sure his chronic cough would stop too. So if he could stop smoking, if he could give up smoking, he would have fewer problems with coughing. All right, he wouldn't cough so much. So in my opinion, he should stop smoking. Now Ronnie has another problem, my good friend Ronnie. Ronnie is a walking problem in my opinion. Un problema andante. Ronnie loses a lot of money because he plays poker all the time. He is addicted to poker. He likes to play blackjack. He goes to the casino in Monte Carlo. Monte Carlo is famous for its casino. You remember. Have you ever been to Monte Carlo? Have you ever been to Monaco? Well, there's a beautiful casino in Monte Carlo. And if you go there, you can play roulette, you can play blackjack, you can play poker. 5-card stud, 5-card draw. You can play poker at the casino with other people around a table. And Ronnie likes to do that. He also likes to play blackjack. And he, of course, occasionally he wins money. Occasionally he leaves the casino with more money than he walked in. But not always. Sometimes, in fact, usually, probably 80 or 90% of the time, he leaves the casino with less money. But his father's name is Nigel. His father has a weakness for his son, and he always sends Ronnie money every time the boy runs out. Every time the boy runs out of money. To run is correr, por supuesto, run. Pero to run out of, otra vez doble preposición, lo siento, pero hoy os toca. To run out of. Every time the boy runs out of money, he calls his dad. Said, Dad? Yes, Ronnie. How are you? Oh, I'm fine, Dad, but listen, could you send me some more money? Again? Well, you see, and Ronnie always has an excuse. He always finds an excuse. And the father sends him more money. And so Ronnie has money to buy cigarettes, to go to the casino, to play 5-card draw or 5-card stud, and to play blackjack. And the boy loses money. Now, if he didn't play poker and blackjack so much, he wouldn't need to call his father so often. It's true. If he didn't play poker so often at the casino in Monte Carlo, he wouldn't be without money all the time, and he wouldn't need to call his father. So really, in my opinion, and I'm sure you agree with me, será hasta la misma opinión, that he shouldn't play poker so often. He should try to avoid that habit. It's a bad habit. Ludópata, you say in Spanish. And it's a very serious addiction for people who suffer it. It's worse than the tobacco addiction because smoking is bad for your health. But gambling, playing blackjack, poker, as an addiction, can destroy your financial situation. And then you have big, big problems. Ronnie's lucky because he has a rich daddy. Hey, Daddy, give me some more money. And Daddy has a soft heart for his son, his only son. And so he helps the boy. Question, will he help Ronnie forever? That's an interesting question that we're not going to answer in this class, not today. But maybe in the future, if you continue watching Aprende Inglés TV, probably, eventually, que significa tarde o temprano, eventually, we will answer the question of, and we'll pass to the other, we eventually will answer the question whether Ronnie will be saved or not. Will Ronnie someday see the light and help his father and become a responsible adult? Do you know how old Ronnie is? He's 29 years old, living alone in Monte Carlo in a very nice apartment, driving a Jaguar, spending money. He owns a yacht that, of course, his father helped him to buy. Renting it in the summer, but doing nothing in the winter except spending money, going to the discos, nightclubs, enjoying life. Ronnie is a kind of playboy, una especie de playboy. He's a kind of playboy. He's not a very responsible kid. I think his parents didn't raise him very well. And now, in the future, the parents are going to have a problem with Ronnie. He smokes too much. He coughs too much. If he didn't smoke so much, he wouldn't cough so much. He loses a lot of money because he plays poker often. He goes to the casino in Monte Carlo often. If he didn't go so often, he wouldn't lose so much money. If he didn't lose so much money, he wouldn't call his father so often. And if his father didn't have a soft heart and send him money every time, maybe Ronnie would learn. Maybe Ronnie would learn to be more responsible. And also he's fat. He eats too much. Come on, if he's a playboy, he needs to be handsome. But at the same time, he eats too much. If he didn't eat so much, he wouldn't be fat. And he's a good-looking kid. He's an attractive young man, but he's 20 kilos overweight, which means he needs to lose 20 kilos. I don't understand the kid. He's a friend of mine, but he's a lost case. Un caso perdido. Un caso clínico, as you say sometimes. All right. Now, and he loses friends. Our friend Ronnie is not he's still our friend. But he doesn't know how to keep a friend. Our friend Ronnie, mucha friend aquí, because he always asks his friends for money. Ronnie has a bad habit. He spends too much money. And he's constantly calling his father for money. But he doesn't like calling his father every month. So what does he do? What does he do? Well, I'll tell you in the other camera. He calls his father, and when he doesn't call his father, he talks to his friends. And he says, Mike, Peter, Francois, can you lend me some money? And of course, the first time they lend him money, because he's a nice kid. It's impossible not to like Ronnie. He's a nice guy. But he asks his friend for money. So the friends give him some money. 500 euros, 700 euros, 200 euros, 1,000 euros. And they give him money. And then he doesn't return it. Or it takes forever to return the money. And so he loses friends because he borrows money from them. He shouldn't borrow money from his friends. It's a pernicious habit. If you need money in the future and you can't get the money from the bank and you need money, borrow it from a member of the family. Don't borrow money from your friends. Don't borrow, que es pedir prestado, tomar prestado. Don't borrow money from your friends. I'm dicho en español. And in English, if you lend money to a friend, si tú prestas dinero a un amigo, you lose the money and you lose your friend. It contaminates and destroys friendship if you get money involved. So if you need money, the last person you should ask is a friend, porque es hacerle un flaco favor a un amigo, pedirle dinero, aunque sea el mejor amigo del mundo. Don't do it, because you will lose the friend, and your friend will lose the money, and you will feel, espero que sientas, I hope you feel remordimiento. Because if you don't feel remorse when you have your friend's money and never return it, then I'm not interested in you learning English with me, because I don't like you. All right? But nevertheless, we can talk about moral questions in another type of class. This is an English class, and your job for the moment is to study English and to make a stronger effort with English than our friend Ronnie makes with his French. So, I'll be back tomorrow, later, another day, to continue teaching you English to the best of my ability. Thank you. Bye-bye.